So Lookism chapter 620 is out, and honestly, I really have not been active in the Lookism community for a while now. I've been more so focused on exams and outside things, and to be completely honest, Lookism hasn't been great. It hasn't even been good, to be honest, so nothing has enticed me enough to make a video on it or even really read the chapter. I read chapter 619 the day before 620 came out actually, but this chapter really wasn't that bad in my opinion. I'm not gonna talk about the whole chapter, but there's a couple things I want to address. First of all, this chapter is really bad for Mugen. The confirmation that this rumor that had been going around happened before him and Gapirong even fought, and that it has no real merit behind it and is pure speculation is pretty terrible for the Mugen agenda, and it's just PTJ's way of solidifying Gapirong's spot at the top of the food chain when it comes to the pre-generation. But one thing I really did enjoy about this interaction was that Gapirong was actually the one that went out of his way to seek out Mugen and try to get him on his side. It wasn't Mugen that showed up like the rest of them, Bang Ho and such. Gapirong actually went out of his way to find Mugen because he seemingly respects his strength and thinks he'd be a good addition to the team. It's good because it adds substance to Mugen's character and shows us why he's not like the rest of the so-called heroes pointed out at the start of the arc. And another thing I really enjoyed about this chapter that a friend of mine actually predicted and is making a dedicated video on is this part with the harangue. On the harangue's banner it reads, "Where the sun and moon shine, at the center of the world." If you guys know anything about PTJ, you know he loves hinting at things millions of chapters before they actually happen, and the biggest example of this is the first generation kings. He shows their silhouettes literal hundreds of chapters before they're actually shown in the series, and you'd think they might be some irrelevant kings that you'd never hear of, but they turn out to be major parts of the story that have been there for a long time but weren't actually addressed. With this, it may not be the same, but there's a chance it is with authors, and especially authors that happen to be artists at the same time in media such as manhwa. I always like to think that they wrote/drew that particular detail in there with thought behind it and for good reason, so this could be hinting at a whole sun and moon dynamic with the harangue, especially taking Moonlight style into consideration. There could be a counterpart, or there could be a future counterpart, who knows with Gu at this point.